Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at the time-lapse feature on the Panasonic G80, also known as the G85. So, power on the camera, press menu, the second tab down with a picture of the camera, it gives you a time-lapse animation. So select that, then you've got a choice of time-lapse shots, or you can also do stop-motion animation, but we're doing time-lapse shots, so we'll go back. You can select your start time now or set a time for later, so we'll go now, and then these are the shooting intervals. So I've already set 1 every 2 seconds for 10 shots, but these can be adjusted by just tapping on the screen and using the arrow keys up and down. So we'll set that and go out. So for dials, you want to turn the left and top dial all the way clockwise till you got the picture of the clock. That's the time-lapse setting, and that will bring this icon up at the screen top right, which you can also access the time-lapse through, so you can go to the time-lapse mode through that. And then you want to make sure the focus lever is set to manual focus, so all the way to the right hand position. Now the top right dial, it kind of depends what kind of time lapse you're doing. For daytime you can just be lazy and use intelligent auto, and the camera will think of everything for you apart from the manual focus, which you need to set on your subject. So let's assume we're doing a daytime time lapse, so we'll leave that on intelligent auto, and we've got the manual focus lock on, and we've got on the top left dial, we've got it on the time-lapse setting. So all we have to do then is point at the subject, focus, and then press the shutter button. And it will take a shot every 2 seconds for 10 shots. So time-lapse shot completed. So it says create video now, so we press yes, and it gives us some options here. So we can set the recording quality, and there's a number of settings on the G80. It's really good for video, so you can go anywhere from 720p up to 4K with anything from 24 to 60 frames a second depending on which setting it is. So for this I'm just using Full HD 25 frames a second, but then it's got this setting underneath which is frame rate, so you can actually lengthen your time-lapse videos by selecting anything below the 25 frames a second. So if you want to double it, you can go to 12.5, and then it will just drag out each frame for twice as long. And then the sequence, you can just go forwards or reverse, so we'll go forwards. So we'll press OK. Create time 1 minute to proceed. Now it never takes the time it says it's going to take, it does it quite quickly. So it's now done that, so we can go to our play button and then press play, and you can see it's now playing the time lapse. Not very exciting because there's nothing really moving. So other things to think about are, if you're doing a time lapse at night time, you'll need, say you're doing like stars moving through the sky with the rotation of the earth, you want to set that top dial to manual, and then basically select a longer exposure. So you could say 8 seconds or 6 seconds, 5 seconds, something like that, and then take your ISO up to say 1600, probably 800 to keep the noise down, and then what it will do then is it will take a longer exposure to bring in more light into the camera. Other things to think about in terms of longer exposures. I've been playing about with this camera for a few weeks now, and I noticed that you can't actually set an exposure longer than 1 second if you have the electronic shutter set. So you need to just keep the mechanical shutter, not have the electronic shutter, and then it enables you an exposure time up to 1 minute. Now, also another thing to consider, on a couple of occasions whilst I've been taking time lapses, I've not got back to the camera when it's finished taking the time lapse, and it's gone out the option where it says to make a video, and it's not really apparent how you make a video from images you've taken earlier. So I played about with the camera and I found out how to do it. So the best way to do this is to demonstrate it. So if we do another quick time lapse, just quickly take another 10 shots with that time lapse. I'll move it about a bit to try and make it a bit more exciting. Just add a bit of movement to the time lapse video. So if you don't get back to the camera straight away, this create video message will eventually disappear. So that message has disappeared now because we didn't get back to the camera on time to make the video. So how do we make that video now those images are gone? Took me a little while to figure it out. So what we need to do is go to the menu, press the play button at the bottom, and then time-lapse video, and then you can scroll through your sets of images. So if I want to make a time lapse of this set of images, I press set, and then as before, we can select our recording quality, frame rate and sequence. So I'm happy with those, so press OK, and it says create time 1 minute, which will be much less than that, and we can create a video that way. Here we go, you can see that's a time lapse of me moving the camera about because there's nothing going on. Okay, thanks for watching. I've had this camera for a few weeks so far. Really impressed with it. As I uncover some more features, if I feel like they would make good videos, I'll make some more. So if you want to subscribe to hear more from me, please do. I'll leave you with a few little time-lapse videos that I've taken from my back garden. Not ventured too far, busy parent and all that. But I hope you have fun making time lapses, and thanks again. Bye.